Welcome to the show, guys. Got a massive episode. We are talking mid-season winners and losers. So how do your players stack up? Where did you draft them? How are they doing right now? Going to answer all those questions, go over all the top players and some of the busts at each position. Overall, this far, going into week 9 of fantasy football, this is a massive episode, guys, okay? Before we get into the show is brought to you by Pristine Auction. Head on over to pristineauction.com. Use promo code SWAGLION. You're going to be entered to win amazing giveaways. This week's giveaway is an Alvin Kamara signed speed helmet and a Tua jersey signed as well, guys. Giveaways every week or two at pristineauction.com. All you got to do to enter is pristineauction.com. Use promo code SWAGLION. Let's get into this mega show, guys. Mid-season, winners or losers. Let's see if the sheep are right. Let's see if I was right. Let's dive in. Big episode. Let's go right now. All right, guys, welcome to the show. We are heading into week 9 fantasy football. And we got to talk about some of the players that are doing well. Guys like Cooper Kupp, Tom Brady at the quarterback position, the falling of Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb busting, as I told you guys, okay? We're going to talk about all that. Austin Eckler surprising me. I want to deep dive into all of the players, all of the busts, all of the winners. Najee Harris, that's why I bought the Steelers hats before the season started. He is my favorite running back this season. Everything. Let's dive into it. Let's have an open discussion here. Feel free to comment, guys, in the comments below and leave a thumbs up. The thumbs up really helps the channel, gets this message out to more people as we discuss our passion, which is fantasy football. But I'd love to hear in the comments, who's been overperforming, who's been underperforming for you? Leave it in the comments. I'm going to dive in and chat with you guys in the comments, okay? Also, head on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION, okay? SHOWERLION is the code. Amazing fit and finish on the trimmer, navigational light. Now, what I also like about their product is they released a new body wash and shampoo. It's paraben-free. It's cruelty-free. Amazing product. It smells nice. My wife loves it. Hopefully, your girlfriend will like it as well. If you're a girl, maybe your boyfriend will like it. Either way, get the body wash and shampoo. You'll absolutely love it. Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. Go right now. Treat yourself, guys. You're going to love their products. Go do it. Save 20% using promo code SHOWERLION at manscaped.com. Pause the video. Go do that, all right? Now, let's dive into the video here. Let's go. Let's talk about winners and losers. And as of right now, in PPR, heading into week 9, Cooper Kupp is the number 1 player in fantasy football right now, okay? Absolutely crushing it. 214 points. I read some sort of stat that, what did he have last year? Like 208 some odd points for the whole season. He's already got 214 points right now. We're only 8 weeks in, right? So the point I'm trying to make here is I recommended Cooper Kupp. I think it was round 4 in my 16-round draft. So I think it was round 3 or 4. Everybody had Woods ahead of him, okay? And not only that, everybody was going wide receiver early. Not everybody, but the mainstream sheep recommend wide receiver early. Round 1, right? Go with your DeAndre Hopkins, they say, right? Go with those guys early. Your Tyreek Hills, your Devontae Adams. And I get, like, those guys are top wide receivers in their respective position, but there's so much depth at the wide receiver position. So let this be a lesson to you guys if you're listening mid-season. Next year, get the 16-round draft solution because I assure you, I implore you guys, this works, okay? I've got testimonials. I got tons of DMs. I've got, my teams are doing well. Why? Because I stray away from the sheep. I don't listen to the main consensus rankings. And that's what happens. So this year, like every other year, is proof that what the mainstream do is they take the top finishers and they tell you to draft them in that order again. It's not how you're going to win your leagues, guys. Okay. Cooper Kupp, a guy that I recommend in my 16 round 4 is number 1 wide receiver because we loaded up on running backs early. Okay. All right, so let's go over some of the positions here. Let's start with the quarterback who's been overperforming, underperforming as of right now, 8 weeks in, going into NFL week 9. All right, guys? Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a guy that's doing well, 201 points, kind of to be expected, not necessarily to be the number 1 quarterback this, halfway through, but a guy that has all of the weapons. And, it's Tom Brady, right? But number 1, pretty surprising. Josh Allen performing where he should be. Matt Stafford, a bit of a surprise. Not really a surprise, but not being 3rd right now in fantasy points, pretty impressive. Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts is a bit of a shock to me. I knew he'd be a good quarterback, but I avoided him in fantasy because when I'm drafting a quarterback, I like to get more of those secure quarterbacks, guys that are proven, guys that I know will put up fantasy numbers. Okay, Jalen Hurts doing well. Kyler Murray doing well. He's a little banged up, though. He had a bit of an injury. Should be back in a week or two. Pat Mahomes, a little underperforming based on his ADP. Now, a lot of people drafted Pat Mahomes in the second round, expecting him to be the number one quarterback. What goes up must come down. You got to look for those round 5 values, the guys that produce on top level that you can get in round 5, okay? Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Herbert's around the top 10. Carson Wentz is my QB2 in a 2-quarterback league. He's sitting number 11th amongst quarterbacks. Carson Wentz, I told you, would have a good year. Good O-line, and he's performing up top there. Guys that are underperforming that people thought would have been good. Okay, guys, let's talk about Jameis Winston out for the season. I wasn't drafting him, but a lot of people did. Not necessarily as a QB1, but a guy that, as a backup, but I was staying away. Dak Prescott, 18th amongst quarterbacks, didn't play this past week. Dak Prescott, going into the season, we kind of knew he was showing signs of injury, and he was coming off an injury. So I was a little suspect with him not performing where he should be. People drafted him relatively high. Okay, I kind of dodged that bullet. Tua didn't have high expectations with him. He's doing terrible, 29th amongst quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, people the mainstream had high expectations of him. He's sitting 25th, okay? Matt Ryan, 21, could be doing a little bit better. But overall, quarterbacks kind of perform. What you see is what you get. Now, Russell Wilson, 5th-round pick, injured, right? So he's down a little bit, So, guys, sometimes where quarterbacks, injuries come in and bring them down. But typically with quarterbacks, what you see is kind of what you get. There isn't a lot of volatility with quarterbacks, okay? That's why I said secure a good quarterback to anchor your team. So quarterbacks aren't really a big thing that kind of shocked me. Now, running backs, this is where the volatility is. Let's talk about running backs. This is very important, okay? Derrick Henry now goes down with a potential season-ending foot injury, okay? This is a guy that's been consistent the past couple years. Now, when I got Derrick Henry is the year, that's when I was really all over him, was last year, the year before, and the year he broke out. That's when I get these running backs. The year where Damian Williams, believe it or not, the mainstream sheep had Damian Williams ahead of Derrick Henry. This is the year he broke out and had that big monster year when people started realizing, right? That's when he was on my roster because you got to see things before they happen. Gretzky, I think it was skate to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is, right? So Derrick Henry going down now, and prior to the season, yes, he was recommended in my first round, but I kept edging you towards, Najee Harris early, okay? Why? Why did I do that? Because Najee was on an upwards trend in a great opportunity. Derrick Henry, I said that I like him. He's super safe, but he was due. And I hate to say due, and I can't predict injuries, but you can only be so good for so long before, especially at the running back position, before you go down. So Derrick Henry, I was like, you know what? Something may happen here. He's almost been too perfect. I have my question marks, and sure enough, we see this happen, okay? Austin Eckler, I was kind of wrong about that. He's been surprised. Number 2 amongst running backs. And what I like about him is he does like fantasy football. If you don't know the backstory, let me give you the backstory. Last year, okay, going into last season, okay, what I said to him is I actually did a post saying Austin Eckler is not a true workhorse running back. He was a backup to Melvin Gordon. He kind of sucks. And he busted last year. He couldn't handle the workload, got injured. And basically, I was right. So he ended up blocking me because I was right about his busting last year. He ended up blocking me, right? He came onto my social media after I did that post saying he's not a full workhorse running back. I said, yes, I am. I'm a guy that can get it done. I lit a fire under his ass, basically. And then he ended up blocking me last season. But I was right. He busted. This year going in again, I was like, he's not a true workhorse running back. I don't trust him, this and that. Sure enough, he's been proving me wrong, okay? And again, there's that, going back and forth on my social media. He dove in my comments last year and I was ready to block me. Now he's proven me wrong. So props to him. I like that he likes the fantasy community. Even when he's banged up, I think he had his hip bothering him. He still ended up playing this week, okay? So Austin Eckler, props to him. I was not, I wasn't right about him. Unless, but we're halfway through, right? So who knows? But Austin Eckler has not proven, that he's a full workhorse running back. Now he finally is, right? Years to wow, I'm not wowed. I'm finally getting wowed by Austin Eckler. So he's finished, that's where I was a little bit off. That's okay. Jonathan Taylor, I know, this is a guy I was on, right, before the sheep were on, but, I always thought that there was some pests there. I said draft him in round 1, just be aware there could be some pests, but Jonathan Taylor is solid. Sure enough, he's number 3 amongst running backs. DeAndre Swift, a little bit of a surprise here. Number 4, his average ADP was round 3, doing well. Aaron Jones doing well. And Najee Harris doing really well. 128 attempts here. Very impressive. 479 yards. Only 3.7 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. I like to see that go up, but he's getting it done in the receiving game with 37 receptions and 142 points, putting him 6th amongst running backs. Now, let's talk about this openly here, okay? Najee Harris was not on anybody's top 10 list. I scout this stuff, guys. I look at the magazines. I don't know if I have a magazine here. Let me see if I can pull it up. So, yeah, I do have a magazine right in front of me, okay? So we're doing a mid-season accountability episode. So I've got a magazine right here, guys, if you guys can see it. It's an ESPN 350 Players Scouting Reports, Fantasy Football. Win your league, everybody. Win your league. Let's see where Najee Harris sits here in the magazine amongst running back rankings. And this is something that was very easily seen. I actually went out and said, in a quote, Najee Harris will beat Christian McCaffrey in fantasy points with confidence. I said this with confidence, meaning I know he's the number 1 pick. And sure enough, where is Najee Harris? So I'm looking at this magazine. Najee Harris is sitting here at number 14. I don't know if you could see it. Let me try to zoom it in. I don't know if the camera's picking it up here, but 14th is Najee Harris, okay? Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Zeke Elliott, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb was top 10, okay, guys? We're going to talk about Nick Chubb here. Top 10 on every running back rankings list I saw. On the consensus rankings, the Consensus rankings, 4-letter network rankings, every other podcast, every other BS cookie-cutter person that wants to play it safe had Nick Chubb top 10, okay? Nick Chubb is currently sitting 23rd amongst running backs. Well, Joe, how did you know that? Pretty obvious, guys. He got hurt last year, and Kareem Hunt outscored him. And even when he was healthy, Kareem Hunt outscored him in PPR. Now, Kareem Hunt is on IR right now. And to put this in perspective, Kareem Hunt is sitting 14th amongst running backs. 14th amongst running backs right now, Kareem Hunt, okay? Nick Chubb is 23rd. And even Dearness Johnson is hoarding away touchdowns away from this guy. They don't like to play the full workhorse running back. They're not going to give you Najee Harris type volume. And everybody told you Nick Chubb round 1. Man, they should be ashamed of themselves, okay? Shame, shame, shame on the Concheeps, and they won't hold it accountable. So when Nick Chubb finishes 20, let's say he finishes 15th. Let's give him, I think he's going to finish outside the 20. But let's say he finished 15th amongst running backs. They're gonna take him out of the top 10 list this year. They're gonna put Najee in there. But why didn't you see Najee this year? Why didn't you project that this year? Why? Because you're a sheep, and all they're doing is taking last year's top finishers and telling you to draft them in that order. There's no projection. That's why 16 rounds is number 1. That's why people are winning their leagues here with the Counselor Nation. Okay. Alvin Kamara finishing 7th right now, mid-season here. Cornell Patterson, Joe Mixon, Zeke Elliott rounding out the top 10. Zeke Elliott by far, and I said it, the safest pick in round 1, and being super safe, Mr. Zeke Elliott, number 10 right now. Darrell Henderson, a pleasant surprise. Cam Akers went down, and obviously they're a good opportunity for Henderson. He's number 11 right now. Other names I want to mention here, James Robinson having him a great season, a little banged up. I think he's going to be day-to-day. I like James Robinson, and he's been consistent when he plays, but he's sitting 13th right now amongst running backs. Another surprise that I have stashed on my bench, and I can show you my story. Check out my Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. I got him. I told you guys the stash this guy is Michael Carter, currently sitting number 20th amongst running backs. Had a great week the past week. Love him. Love the upside. Offense a little suspect, but now with a new quarterback coming in, Michael Carter could get some work. Pretty exciting stuff there. Javonte Williams, 25th. Dalvin Cook was drafted in the first round across the board, top pick. He's currently sitting 29th amongst running backs. Let me repeat. Dalvin Cook, everybody said I was crazy for taking Najee ahead of him, sitting 29th amongst running backs. Now, where I was off a little bit was Saquon Barkley. That's okay, because I told you to draft running backs, go robust RB. I didn't say go wide receiver. Saquon Barkley banged up a couple weeks. He's down. He had a slow start to the first couple weeks. Finally got into the groove, got hurt again, hopefully starts playing here in week 9. If not, I'm going to rip him to him in social media. He's currently sitting 37th, very big disappointment. And Christian McCaffrey sitting 42nd amongst running backs. McCaffrey, Saquon, we got to start moving on from guys like that, okay? So, that's the running back breakdown right now. Again, Nick Chubb, a person to mention. Najee Harris, everyone's going to be riding him next year. But that's kind of your midseason breakdown on those guys. And again, wide receiver, this is why I'm telling you to wait on wide receiver. Michael Pittman sitting 11th. Let me repeat this. Michael Pittman, a guy I was high on, that I suggested in 16 rounds to draft in, like, I think it was like the 7th, 8th, 9th round, Michael Pittman was sitting 59th on the consensus rankings. Oh, yeah, let me pull up the magazine here. Let's see where Michael Pittman was sitting. He's currently sitting 11th. The wide receiver 1 on the Colts. Where is he sitting? Let's find out here. Where is Michael Pittman sitting? Okay, he's not top 10. Definitely not top 10, not top 14. Let's see if he's top 30. Don't see him. Don't see him. I'm just checking out the magazine, guys. Where is Michael Pittman? He's the wide receiver 1 on the Colts. I don't see him on this list, guys. I'm like 52 in here. Michael Pittman. There he is right there. This is proof, guys. I don't know if you could see it. 58. I don't know if you could see it here. 58th in the magazine, and he was around 59th on the consensus rankings across the board. This is proof, guys. Documented proof. Documented proof right here that the consensus is wrong. But 16 rounds, I had him suggested 7th, 8th round. I'm going to go back and check exactly where I had him. But this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Don't listen to the sheep. They will lead you astray. They lie, okay? Another liar. Let's keep going here. Deebo Samuel. They said they had Ayuk ahead of Deebo Samuel. Let's see if I'm right here. Let's see if I'm right. I'm just going to go back and check because I like documentation. I like that they document this stuff. 16 rounders, you know. Brandon Ayuk was sitting 29th. Where's Deebo Samuel? I see Brandon Ayuk here at 29th. I don't see Deebo Samuel. Is Deebo Samuel after? You wouldn't rate Deebo Samuel after. I had Deebo Samuel on my show. Where is Deebo? I don't see Deebo. Maybe I'm missing him. Maybe he is ahead of, I don't see him. Either way, guys, I know that Brandon Ayuk was ranked ahead of Deebo Samuel. Okay, let me see. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't see Deebo Samuel here in the top 20. I'm going to find this. I got to find Deebo. I know Ayuk was 29th, okay? What they write here, the 2020 49ers offense was so overwhelmed with injuries that Ayuk, a rookie, missed 4 games and finished first among the team's whatever. Seriously, Ayuk posted 60 to 748, 5 receiving, blah, 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 blah. They're saying that he could consider him as wide receiver 3 with upside, but they have him ahead of Deebo Samuel. I don't see Deebo Samuel on here, but I know on the consensus rankings he was after Ayuk, okay? And that's something that I monitored prior to the season. I don't even see him here. Maybe he's not even ranked. Where is Deebo Samuel? Okay, maybe we should give up on this because I don't see him unless I'm told him. He's not even ranked. I don't see him. So Deebo Samuel's sitting 4th. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Devontae Adams 6th. I like to see a better return out of him. Adam Thielen. What did I tell you? Where's Jefferson? Jefferson is sitting 21st. Adam Thielen is 12th. I said, guys, Thielen is the one. People are like, you're crazy, Joe. How could you think Thielen's the one? He's very touchdown dependent. He's the one. I had Jefferson last year, 8th round in my 16-round draft. 8th to 10th round, I was getting him. Why would I pay a 2nd-round pick on Justin Jefferson when I can get Thielen, who is the one this year, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. Load up on running backs, get yourself Thielen. Boom. Done. Easy, right? It's about seeing things before they happen, right? Stephon Diggs not performing where he should be, 22nd. Deontay Johnson, 24th amongst wide receivers. A.J. Brown, who's a top 10 wide receiver on the consensus. Everyone said draft him, end of 1st round, early 2nd. A.J. Brown is sitting 28th right now, okay? Let me see if there's anyone else here that pops out to me. Calvin Ridley, unfortunate mental issues. He's got to deal with those. He's out, man. I don't know if he's ever coming back this season or at all. I don't know what's going on. He's put football aside, sitting 50th. He was a 2nd-round pick across the board, and I thought the volume was going to be there. Very big disappointment there. Where's CeeDee Lamb? Everybody was high on CeeDee Lamb, drafting him ahead of Amari Cooper. I don't even see CeeDee Lamb. I'm not sure where he's ranked here. I got to pull this up. CeeDee Lamb, he's got 125 fantasy points, which puts him not bad. He's 13th, okay? 13th amongst wide receivers. He had a boom game in there, but he's been relatively inconsistent. I'm just checking in on him. Very inconsistent, actually. He had a big week 6, which put up 36 points. Big week 1 with 23 points. But week 3, 9.5 points, and week 4, 3.3 points. He's been safe. Just a couple, some volatility there with his numbers. So CeeDee Lamb, you know what? Not bad. But he was coming off late 2nd round. I don't know if that's worth it. And when I can get Pittman round 8, and he's ahead of him right now in fantasy points, 129 to 125. Pittman beating CeeDee Lamb. So, Jamar Chase, a pleasant surprise. And again, in 60 rounds, has recommended him as a late round stash. He's sitting number 3 amongst wide receivers. And guess where Jamar Chase is going to end up next year on the consensus rankings? Yep, in the top 10. Of course he is. Why? Why didn't they talk about him this year? because they're sheep, right? In 16 rounds, it's suggested to get him on your bench at the right ADP and stash him. Stash some of these rookies. Load up on these rookie wide receivers. One of them is going to go. One of them is going to break out. You're loaded up on running backs. Anchor your team with some ace wide receivers like Thielen, right? Thielen, Deontay, guys like that. Pittman. Load up on those guys and stash a couple of these wide receivers. They're free. You know, everyone's sleeping on them, right? That's what 16 rounds gives you. So in regards to wide receivers, you know, that's pretty much the update. Cooper Kupp leading the pack. And again, where's Odell? Odell was the guy they recommended in the 5th round. I want to go on record here to say that Odell Beckham Jr. is a guy I suggested never to draft, even when he was, popular 5 years ago, right? Even the first year he busted. He's sitting 79th amongst wide receivers right now, okay? Very big disappointment. I was wrong on Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson sitting 68th. Again, I recommended him, I think, after the 7th, 8th round, I think it was. Big bust this year because, Darnold doesn't like him or something like that. I don't know what's going on. Big bust. I'm owner of St. Brown, 64th. I told you to stash him. He's not doing where he should be. But again, the line's looking really rough all around. I'm trying to see if there's any other surprise. Darnell Mooney, 44th. Not bad. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, kind of what you see is what you get here if you look at your look at the scores and rankings in your app where you play fantasy. But Mike Williams, very volatile, sitting 16th amongst wide receivers. Terry McLaurin's got to step it up, sitting 15th. DeAndre Hopkins, 14th, not performing where he should be, which was late 1st round pick. That's pretty much it, guys, for wide receivers. Let's move on to tight ends here. Travis Kelce still number 1, but not doing amazing. 127 points. Mark Andrews follows him. TJ Hawkinson, Mike Gesicki doing well. Dalton Schultz, Kyle Pitts. But again, with tight end, like I said, it's always that Travis Kelce and then like everybody else after. I don't get too excited. Darren Waller, people are drafting him high, only 82 points, sitting 8th amongst tight ends. I think he's banged up. CJ Uzomah cracking the top 10. He was going undrafted, 79 points. So again, with tight end, I don't dive into it too much, but as long as I get a tight end that gets me 10 points a week, I'm happy, okay? So I've had a combination of different tight ends this year, but I'm doing really well. I've had a combination of Jared Cook, Robert Tonyan, Rob Gronkowski, and Mike Gesicki. So I've been mixing it up. Gesicki sitting 4th. But again, and I've got Kyle Pitts in one league as well. So a lot of volatility with tight ends, but Kelce still leading the pack yet again here at this position. That's it for mid-season review here. Just going over it. Again, what happens at the beginning of the season, who you draft is not how it's going to end up, right, mid-season or end of the season. And what I do in 60 rounds is I project forward. I project, and I tell you guys, that's not how it's going to be. Project this, and that's why we win. That's why 16 rounds win. That's why I can see the Michael Pittmans and Najee Harris of the world and project that guy was up, he's going to go down. And this is not a factor that's taken in when doing up the magazines and the podcast and everybody else, because everybody else wants to play it safe. Nobody's going to put Najee Harris this year in their top 10 because that's a risk, right? And they don't want to look bad, but they don't realize that putting, Nick Chubb in there, knowing that Kareem Hunt outscored him every time they played together, they're not afraid of that, but they're afraid to put Nick Chubb in. They should be ashamed of themselves. And the thing is, there's no accountability. I was wrong on Robbie Anderson. I take credit. I was off on Saquon. I didn't know he'd get hurt again, but he did, right? But I still think Saquon finishes the year strong. I admit to my mistakes. People know what my mistakes are because they know, like a lion, I hunt and I go for what I want. And that's why I win. That's why you guys win, okay? Guys, I'm not trying to hear, toot my own horn here, but I'm here to just speak facts, right? And that's the truth. All right, guys, make sure you guys subscribe in the comments below. Let me know who's doing well for you guys. Love to hear your feedback. Head on over to manscaped.com. Shower line. You'll love their products, guys. Again, mid-season. It's been a crazy season so far, but, as 16 rounders, we're able to project and see things that have enough depth to cover ourselves. That's what you need to do to win at fantasy football. Stray away from the sheep, guys. Lion mentality. I'm out.